Hi there, this is Amanda Frankel with our Crafty Playdate, and today we are going to be making this very sweet rainbow card with the little pot of gold. A couple of things, we're going to learn a couple of different things on this. We're going to learn how to do this cool sky with the clouds in the background. That's flat. There's no texture there physically, but there is a lot of visual texture there. We're going to learn some cool tips on the rainbow that I actually did not invent. I learned them from a demonstrator, and I can only think of her first name as Sam, and I'm sorry, I cannot remember. And then we're going to do a little punch art too. So I'm gonna show you a couple of things here. So let's get started. Busy day. All right, I'm gonna leave this up in the corner so you can kind of watch as I'm going along. We're gonna start with a card base, which is really just a half of an 8.5 by 11. And then I'm going to fold it here like so. And if I have a bone folder, which I do, I'm just going to do that. Make it kind of crisp. Okay, so here's our half of a card. Going to make sure I'm doing it the right way. And I'm going to be using a couple different things. I am using the Rainbow Builder framelits. And we're using so many of these. You're going to love it. We're using all of these to make the rainbow. We're using both of these clouds, cloud bases, and we're using this cloud too. And I'm going to show you some other cool things you can do with them. But right now we're going to start with this. So I actually went ahead and cut just a piece of scrap cardstock with this. Let's see. You can see how I did that. I just cut that off. So that I would have this edge, and that is what I'm going to use to make the very cool clouds. So we are using Soft Sky ink, and I am going to show you how to do this. Actually, we're not going to close it. So in general, when I'm going to be sponging something, I don't take it from the ink pad itself, because why would I do that? Then I just have to re-ink the ink pad. What I do is you can either squeeze it a little bit like this, give it a little pressure, open it up, and then you have a palette. Or if you're really smart and you bought the Soft Sky or the coordinating re-inker at the time that you bought the ink pad, which I highly recommend because you never know when you're going to need it, you can just put a little scribble in your, scribble is not a word, I know. You can just put a little bit in your lid, and then when you're done, whatever's left over actually just goes right back into your ink pad. So bonus, right? Now you've re-inked your ink pad and done this. All for saving steps. Okay, I'm just using a sponge, and I'm using the Stampin' Up! Sponges. They come, actually, they're big and round, about this big, and I always just cut them into 6 pieces, and then this piece is always going to be Soft Sky. I will later take a little scrap of Soft Sky paper and put it over the edge here, fold it down, staple it, and write Soft Sky, and then just hold on to it, and then I always know what color it was. But in the meantime, I'm going to do this, and off to the side, I'm going to scribble like this. Scribble must be like word of the day, Pee Wee Herman's word of the day. It's not. All right, and I'm always going to go kind of in a circle, and I'm going to go toward the top. And you start with your paper high. I'm going to move it down as I go, but you start with it high, and your top clouds will be your darkest then, your top sky. Okay, so there's that. Now, when I pull that back, beautiful. Check that out. Okay, now what I don't want to do is just go straight down from it and make exactly the same sky print, because then people are going to know what I did, and I don't want them to know what I did. That kind of defeats the purpose. So I'm going to go over here, off a little, and now here. And I'm going to go in a circle, just give it a little rub. Are you shaking, camera? Maybe you're shaking. Look at that. Okay, can you see how that layers? All right, so I'm just going to kind of work my way down. And you know what? I can even do this. Flipped it over. And I'm going to go right here like this, going off in a circle, coming up here. All right, so I did actually teach this in my midweek mingle class. And if you don't live around here, that's just an every Wednesday. I kind of have an open class where people come in and I can do different cool things. And now I'm going to do something here because I don't love that so very much. How about, let's see. Let me do this. Okay. And it doesn't have to be straight. It can be tilted. You know, we can do whatever. I'm going to do it like this. Anyway, my midweek mingle class, we did this the other day, and I want to show you something that you can do actually if you don't love a cloud area, like I didn't love that one spot on my cloud card right there. I'm going to kind of just buff it out. You know how when you get a little ding at the supermarket with your car door, you can buff it out. They say, oh, you can buff that out. Yeah, you can actually buff that out here. So let's see. How about like that? Okay, the very bottom is not, whoop, sliding around. The very bottom is not really going to show because I'm going to have a little panel above it. But I do want my clouds to continue under that. So, you know, so that I don't have a little naked spot. I'm not condoning naked spots here, guys. Don't email me about it. Okay, here we go. All right, beautiful. Okay, so this sky is pretty good. I like it. I don't love this spot right here. So what I would do is just get a little extra ink, and now I'm just going to kind of buff it out. I'm just going to kind of soften that one area that I don't love so very, very much. And I actually really like it. Okay, so overall, good sky. Now, so you can see what I've done here. All right, and it does actually look like a sky. So that's kind of cool. All right, so that's all I needed this one die for. This super cloudy one. It's billowy clouds. There is one here that is less billowy. And we are going to use that one too, but we'll use that in just a minute. Let's go ahead and cut our rainbow. All right, so here's the trick that I learned from Sam, can't remember her name, beautiful, amazing, amazing crafter. Use your magnetic platform, and remember your sandwich would be, I should turn that around so you can see it. Use your magnetic platform and then put a cutting pad on top of it. Don't cut straight onto your platform. Mine is disreputable, but it still works. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put that down there. And then I am going to grab a bunch of little scraps of all my fabulous colors. So let's see. If you look at the rainbow, if you look at the colors of the rainbow, you can see where you need to put each color. So my smallest one is purple. Here we go. This purple, I will list all the colors down for you. So you don't need to kind of write them down as you're going here, but if you like the colors that I used. It also looks, by the way, fabulous with really super soft pastels. But remember your magnetic platform, the reason it is as it is it has magnets. So it may fight you on some of the smaller dies. Let it win. It's going to beat you anyway. Just let it go. So I'm just going to keep working my way to larger sized panels. All right, where's my little tempting turquoise? All right, we're gonna pretend like I have a tempting turquoise here for the next size. That would be this one. Pretending, remember pretending, okay. After that, we would have green. Green would be this guy. And I'm just growing as I grow here. Remember, that's turquoise. And then we're going to have yellow, which is this one. The yellow, the green is garden green. The yellow is Daffodil Delight. In the brights. You know what, I will make another card for you within the next day or so and put it up here for you. That will be the subtle colors so that you can see the different colors of the rainbow that I can use. This is pumpkin pie, because yum. Who doesn't love one of those first thing in the morning? And then I've got real red. All right, so I can actually cut all of these things at once. If I'm really talented, I might also be able to take my cloud here, and I already cut them out here for you. You're going to see my secret, but I used Dazzling Diamonds, I think it's called Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper, and cut this out. So you could just put a little square of it there and put your cloud on here at the same time as your rainbow. And then I'm cutting most of my pieces in one swoop. Top matte, take this to your Big Shot, run it through, and you come home with all of these beautiful shapes. Look, miraculously, we even have Tempting Turquoise. All right, so now I've got all these wonderful shapes, and I have put my dies away so that I don't lose them. If, however, you do ever find a die laying on your floor that you thought you put away and you're not sure what set it goes to, if you look on the back of your die, this one's got a little gunk on there, but if you look on the back of your die, there's actually a product number right here. It says Sizzix, and then the product number 14565, maybe 9, maybe. Anyway, that product number, if I go to my Stampin' Up! Website and I punch in that number in the search engine, it's going to pop up what set it comes from. And that's great because then I can actually put it away. Okay, so I've got all my rainbow pieces. Now, what I would normally do is get my card base out and start trying to glue all of these fabulous little pieces on here with probably my liquid glue, because that's my fave, but you know what? I would end up with glue everywhere, everywhere. So the best way, and this tip is, as I said, brilliant. She's brilliant. Get some old washi tape. Washi tape, if you don't have washi tape, you could use some, well, why don't you have it? Crazy, right? But you could use some low tack, like painter's tape also would work. You're going to take a strip of it. You're going to try and keep that edge because you're going to need it again. You're going to lay it so that the stick is up on my paper. Okay, so my stick is up. And now I'm just going to take my top rung, which would be my red. Now remember also, there is a top side and a bottom side to your die cut piece. The top side is smooth to the touch. The bottom side has a ridge. All right, so use your top sides up. And I just am going to stick that on there. Don't stress yourself out about making sure that it's centered and everything else. Don't worry about that. The next thing I'm going to do is grab my next piece, top side up, and I'm going to match that edge with that edge for the most part. It doesn't matter as much on this card because that's covered, that end is covered, and so is that one. So if these are a little uneven, that's okay. I'm going to go with my next one now. It would be yellow. All right, let's say, again, top side up, let's say that I just do something really crazy wonky like this and I don't love it. All I have to do now, I don't really have to hold that down anymore once you've got one or two on it. All I have to do now is just peel that yellow guy off. That's the beauty of the washi tape. If you did something permanent or some real strong tape, like even a Scotch tape, you would not be able to reposition. So this you get to reposition. I'm gonna kinda match that. I'm gonna push it up against the orange and push it down. My next one is green. Top side up, kind of match that as best I can. Push it up against my yellow. I love rainbows. I will tell you, this is crazy. I'm gonna just keep working here while I tell you, I love them. I used to have this is crazy that I remember this, but when I was young, I had this wind chime outside my bedroom, and it was porcelain-ish, like a dusty porcelain. They were stars, white stars, and they had really soft rainbow on each star, just really soft pastel-y colors, and it made the most beautiful noise, and ever since then I am just such a huge fan. Okay, so there's my rainbow. I'm going to push it down against the tape because I like the positions, and it's good. Now my rainbow is all one solid piece, and you would think, wow, that's brilliant. Now we don't have to do anything else. Well, here's what I would do. Flip it over. You know, before I do, you can either tear, the beauty of washi tape also, it tears. So you can tear this off, or you could trim it with scissors if you're super worried about it. If you don't get an even tear though, you can always just fold it back. That's also fine. The back is not going to show. This is not like a quilt where all the people are going to look at the back of it and say, oh yeah, it's beautiful, except look what she did back here. All right, you don't need to make a ton of tape on here. You don't need to put a ton of tape to hold it together. But I'm going to put a couple little pieces of washi back here, and I'll show you why in a second. A couple of pieces of washi, good. And again, I go with the kind of neutral washis whenever I can. I don't want, you know, glittery or whatever. I missed the edge on there. I didn't want glittery or whatever because I don't want it to potentially show through where I may have a small gap. I have a small gap between the red and the orange. That's okay. I am going to grab my scissors and trim this washi off. Now again, I could roll it under if I so chose, but I so not choose right now. Okay. Done and done with the rainbow. I'm going to just kind of lay it here for a second. Now see, it is pretty uneven because I actually missed the edge of the green when I was doing it. I was probably using a small scrap, but not gonna matter. I need to cut this piece right here because this piece is actually an elevated piece. It's up on a dimensional, you can see that. And so what I did is I just took a piece that is 2.5 inches tall by the length of the card, which is 5.5, and that's how it would look right here. I don't need it to be that big. I want it to be a little smaller, and I want it to be a cloud. So I am going to then use this. Remember we talked about these two different cloud types? I'm going to use this more subtle cloud. I'm just going to use my magnetic platform again, lay this on here, and I can pick which clouds I want if it matters to me. It doesn't really matter so much to me right now. Decide about how big I want it to be. Put it on my magnetic platform, slide it through my Big Shot, and I come up with this. Okay, so here's my piece. Again, the cut side has the ridge. The front has the smooth part, but it doesn't really matter on this piece. It's going to go right here. Awesome. I am going to stamp on it first because I don't want to put it on dimensionals and put it on here and then stamp on it. A couple of reasons. One, if I don't stamp well and I hate it and I decide I want to flip it over, once I've stuck the things on there, it's just an added step of difficulty. The second reason that I want to stamp it first is when I have a dimensionals under here, it's a little uneven. There's a dimensional right here. I can feel it. Then there's a bump. Oh, here's one here. Here's one here. So I don't want to run into that problem. So the stamp set that I am going to use is the Rainbow Coordinating Stamp Set. It is this one here, Sunshine and Rainbows. And I have a trick in the next video for this, but in the meantime, we're just focusing on this. We've already got one that says you can't have a rainbow without a little rain, but let's go ahead and do Wishing You a Sunny Day. Okay, we're going to go ahead and use that right there. No, we're not. I'm lying to you. We're going to use the same one because I've already got it loaded. Am I picky? I'm not so picky. I'm going to change it. All right, guys, you made me change it. Here we go. I'll put that away later. The I'll put that away later pile in my craft room is as tall as I am right now, which is 5'5". It is 5'5", that put it away later pile. Okay, so it does now say Wishing You a Sunny Day. Very good. I did it just for you. I am going to go ahead and ink this. And I am putting a mat underneath it because, again, this is a photopolymer stamp set. The beauty of photopolymer, I can see through it to see right exactly where I want to place it. Great for two-step stamps, etc. Even sentiments, so you can get them straight. But it doesn't have a any kind of give here, and you need a little bit of spongy. So the spongy is here. I'm going to ink it. Now, remember to ink it is just light tapping, move it around on your ink pad. Okay, I'm going to do it right here, and I'm a two-hand stamper. 1, 2, lift. Beautiful. I just wanted to try it out because I've never used this one. If you're using a stamp for the first time, do yourself a favor, ink it up, stamp it off on your scratch paper. You'll be happy you did. There could be a little spot that you don't love on your stamp, or that's not, that didn't get ink on it, and you'll be able to tell that right away. So Wishing You a Sunny Day. 1, 2, 3, lift. Beautiful. So there's a sunny day. Okay, and this card is soft. This is not a hardcore, harsh card. It is a soft card. Okay, now, before I go adhering that on even still, I'm going to go ahead and make my pot of gold while I'm cutting, and then I'll come back and start gluing. My pot of gold. Okay, so I love punch art. I love punches. I love dies. I love to make things that they weren't intended to be made out of that particular thing. And that's what I have done here. When I was looking for a punch for my pot of gold, for my pot, it almost looks like like an egg shape. You can kind of see that. I did not want a full circle that I just cut the top of. I really wanted it to look more like a pot. So I walked through and looked at all my dies and came up with this set, my Up and Away framelits. And they are balloons. You can see I have not been using them much, but they have a good cloud in them too. But they're balloons, technically. Here's mine that I just used for my pot of gold. I took that and I said, okay, so this way it's a balloon. Or potentially a light bulb. How cute. You would do a little silver here and do a little in there. Like, I have an idea. Let's get together. That kind of thing. Or it could be a flower pot. Look at that. It's like a little vase. Okay, so you can make a lot of things out of the same dies. Try when you get your dies for the first time. Really open your package and kind of stretch your imagination. Turn them on the side. This could be a cute wine bottle, you know, tipped like this with a little glass here. Not a wine bottle, but like a little decanter. It'd be adorable. You could do all kinds of things. And if you are going to make a vase, I would probably emboss this too before I glued everything together. It would be so cute. But anyway, your dies make more than just what they look like they make. Okay, so I cut that out of black. And the way that I did that is I just grabbed a scrap of black. This is from a school project of my daughter's. They always use my supplies. I buy them their own supplies and they always come down and steal mine. But I just did this for my pot and ran it through, and you can see that that's the pot shape right there that I have right here. It looks like this. Okay, there's my pot. All right, that's a pot for the mounded gold here, because if you're going to have gold, you might as well have a mound of it. I used my 1 1/8 scallop circle punch with gold foil paper. You don't really need the whole circle. So if you're down to just scraps, never throw away your scraps of your foil paper or your glimmer paper. Look, that was Noel at one point. You're just going to go in like halfway anyway, right? The whole mound doesn't show, just that much shows. And then I also, for the little coins, used my holly punch. I love this holly punch. I use it all the time for so many different things. That bow is adorable, but this is a great size circle right here. And so I just find a little place where I've got a scrap and I punch it out, and there's my circle. And I will sit while I'm watching TV and punch out a whole bunch of things like this. Sequins would be adorable here too. It would also work, but I will punch out a whole bunch of things like this, and then I will grab a Xyron. This is not something Stampin' Up! Carries, but it is something that I use when I'm working with really small pieces like this that I want to be sticky. You just slide a couple in here, and I'm going to do 3 coins, because there's a good song about that. In my class the other day, Florence and I both, we knew the song, 3 coins in the fountain. You just slide them in here, pull till you can see it, tear it off, burnish it with your fingers, just give it a good rub, peel this off, and now they are stickers. Okay, so I'm going to glue this really quickly on here. All right, in my next video using the rainbow, I will tell you, I'm not going to teach you how to do this again, okay? So if you are catching the second video, you need to come back. I'll tell you that I did it. You're going to need to come back and find it there. If you're catching only this one, I'm going to teach you how to line up the stamps with those, because you can actually stamp color in there too. All right, sticking my sticky coins on here like this. One fell out. I'll take it. All right, so now we've got this like this. We've got all of our parts. We're going to start assembling. So we know that this is going to be on dimensionals, and I'm going to stick it maybe right about here. My rainbow can be curved a little. That's awesome. That's awesomeness. That's going to be there anyway. This is going to go here. Looks good. I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of here. Now remember, since my rainbow is going to tuck right under here, I don't want a dimensional right here. I'm using the minis because I love them. And I'm just going to put a couple around here so that it really keeps that elevated. And so I'm definitely covering my corners. And I'm going to put one here in the middle, because what do I always say, folks? Nobody wants a saggy middle. Okay. And then I'm going to peel these backs off. If you have a hard time getting them off, just stab them with your fingernail and they will roll right off. So we're rolling these off. Good. One more. We will sweep those up later, probably. All right, and I'm gonna just find the edge of my card here, like this, match it up, stick it down. Okay, so it's stuck down. You can see that it is a little away. I have my gap here that I can stick my rainbow in, and now I'm gonna stick my rainbow in. Now, if I were to just, normally, if I hadn't had all this washi tape here and I just put glue back here like this, it would ooze out in between the rainbow stripes and I would end up with a mess. But since I use that washi on here, look at this. I can just put my glue where my washi tape is. Brilliant, right? Completely brilliant. Now I can tuck that in there, give it a little curve. Good. That's not glue, by the way. That was paper. Okay. And now I'm going to stick this on here. So I'm going to put a little liquid glue here. I am using my mono glue, my liquid adhesive glue, because I love it, for one, but also because it's my favorite. It's my favorite glue. All right, and this guy gets glued. And there is our card right there. And we are all set. Now, if you see anything that you love and you can't live without, by all means, please, I would love for you to visit my website, which I will list here, and I will have a list of all these things that I used today, including all the colors. In my next video that I do with this, when I'm placing, I will use the subtle colors, so you will be able to see some soft colors with the rainbow also. But don't forget to take a look at your dies and find something very cool that you can do with them that you didn't even expect. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope to talk to you soon, and be sure that you subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.